What is up, my dudes and dudettes? I'm back, and today I want to show you 4 projects that are currently on ice, meaning that I'm not working on them or haven't worked on them for a long while. So let's start off with the Concorde. And you probably have seen the Concorde before. I featured it in one long video and I think in another shorter video. I'm not sure right now. Um, and this is not so much on ice, really, more than it's just not finished yet. It is available on the workshop. I called it the Concorde Beta, the beta version, because it is flyable, but there are some things that are still want to tweak, want to fix, that I'm still working on. So this plane, as I said, is flyable, um, but it's just not done. For example, as you can see here, when we are on the ground and we're turning the plane, the control surfaces actually move, and I don't like the look of that. So I want it to be, when we are on the ground, that the control surfaces just stay centered, and only if we are taking off and flying, that these control surfaces actually work. Now, what is more important than that is this plane does not have a beautiful interior. It looks good from the outside, but if we go inside the plane, you can see there are 2 rows of seats that I put there just to see how these seats would look and how I want them to look. But apart from that, is empty. It does not have a cockpit, and it does not have a nice, beautiful interior. So I want to fix that. I might want to build in some working doors, although, well, the experience has shown me that the doors are oftentimes a problem, especially when we have a complicated build like this with a lot, you can see there's a lot of surface panels and wedge pieces and stuff. So no draggable blocks, and this is also prone to tank the frame rate. So yeah, I'm not sure if I want working doors on that. Or I definitely want working doors on that, but I'm not sure if that's possible at all. But yeah, for the Concorde itself, that's already it. So if I got a few hours of time on my hands to do that, I will and I can, and yeah, this shouldn't take too long to finish. But it also is not my top priority to fix, because it is already on the workshop and people can download and enjoy it. So I'd rather finish another unfinished project or work on another unfinished project than put time into this, because time is of the essence and I don't have too much of it. There's real life stuff like working and just having a life, having an apartment, keeping the apartment clean, social life and stuff. That's why, unfortunately, I do not have too much time to record videos. I've picked up playing Scrap Mechanic this week, and I haven't played it before for a long, long time. So yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I hope that now that some stuff is finished, I have more time to play and to record videos for you guys. Alright, so let's delete this card and get on to the next project. The next build I want to talk to you about is something I also have featured on the channel before, and it was also a request by one of my viewers, and I have forgotten his name right now. I'm very sorry, but it's a DC-9 plane. I called the disaster design because I wanted it to have failures available. So you have a control panel and you can set your failures, and then you can fly and the engine catches fire, the cabin catches fire, the gear fails, stuff like that. And yeah, if you watch the video, it was at a good stage. I mean, the airframe is done, and I got the engines burning, and what was missing was basically only the electrical stuff, the systems. The problem now is I have come back to this build, and I actually continued to build this week, but I found that some of the mod parts are not working right now. From the mod part beta, especially the most important part, which is the flamethrower. So I cannot set this plane on fire, which is very unfortunate because this was one of the main features, that you have burning engines or burning cabin. So I hope this gets fixed in the future, so that we have the flamethrower again, and I can give you this beautiful plane someday. If I get to building it and continue building it, and I don't have the flamethrower, I will just release it as a normal project, a normal plane that you can fly around, because I like it already for the looks of it. So it's just a beautiful plane, and why should it just sit around in my list of projects rather than be on the workshop for you guys to enjoy. Yeah, as I said, I showed you this already, what I have. Right now I disabled the engine, I reworked the engine a little bit, so there's no engine in it, there's no thruster in it at the moment, so we cannot fly it. But what I did was I finished the gear. Before that was only a few tires put on blocks so we can roll around, but there was no finished gear frame and actual retractable gear. And this is now finished, and that's the reason that this plane is standing on these stands here. So it's quite a complicated mechanism, a little complicated, and I hope that this will not affect the frame rate when this plane is done. I will not build too many complicated systems in it because there's a lot of bearings already, and if I start doing so much electrical stuff, like for example I did in the Dash 8, this plane will lag, and I do not want it to lag. I want it to perform good, feel good when it's flying, and you have just a decent frame rate. But let me show you what the gear is all about, what the stage of the gear is. As you see, the belly of the plane is closed right now. So if you remember the Concorde, it's quite a similar system. If we want to raise the gear, we push this button and the panels open up, the gear is raised into the belly, and the panels close again. And this, apart from, you know, a few pieces missing that are just missing, so this can rotate freely, it looks quite good. It looks very clean from a distance. And same goes for the front gear. We have two. Oh, this is wrong. Right, like this. I have to redo the controller. So this gear is down when the button is off, and the gear is up when the button is on. I did it the wrong way. Nevertheless, this is how it will work. And same story here. We have a few gaps in here which are not that beautiful, but there's just no workaround if you want this stuff to move freely and not clip into each other and cause lag, because it's Yeah, it's complicated already. So anything rubbing against anything else is just causing lag, and I don't want that. But if we lower the front gear, this is what happens. Both of these flaps are opening up, the gear is coming down, and the front flaps are closing again, so as to reduce the drag and not interrupt the airflow so much. And it is looking okay. We're in the future we have to close up this compartment, of course. But other than that, it's a nice looking plane, and also shouldn't be too much work to finish and to release it. Cool. So let's move on. Another bigger project I started and eventually abandoned out of frustration is this one. It's a B2 bomber. And from the preview it doesn't look like much. As you see, this doesn't look like the B2 at all. And the reason for this is that these wings actually move into place once this plane is loaded in. And here start the problems, because if I spawn it in and put it off the lift, already you see the frame rate is kind of tanking. And let me just grab a block, because this doesn't always work perfectly, that the wings snap into place. So I have to place a few blocks and delete a few blocks, and then we have the frame rate back. So this is nice now. Right. There are few systems here already, but this plane is far from ready to fly. It looks very beautiful already, I think, from the outside. Let me get a better view here. It looks very nice, although it's not finished, but it is so hard. It is so hard to just make it fly. Oh, it's too much distance. It is so hard to make it fly, and I'll tell you why. If you know the B2, it's just a sheet. It's a wing. It's a wing that flies, and the main problem with that is that it does not have a vertical stabilizer in the back. So it's hard for this plane to keep directions, to keep a certain heading, and even more than that, when you turn the plane, when you enter a turn, this sheet of wing will not follow the turn. So if you bank to the right, it will just slip to the right and not want to turn its nose around. In real life, there's a simple solution. As you see, we have these ailerons that serve as ailerons and elevators at the same time, and the outer part here is actually a split aileron. You see there's a top part and a bottom part, and these serve as the rudder, functioning like this. When you want to turn to the right, or if the plane is slipping to the right, if you remember my auto rudder system, if the plane detects a slip to the right, it will actuate the rudder and put the nose back into the airflow. Here the rudder will split, and the other rudder will, the aileron, the other aileron will stay together, and one side will split, thus creating more drag on this side and forcing the nose to the right. And this is very, very hard to achieve. It's okay if you just have a vertical stabilizer with a rudder on it, but everything I tested, I did a lot of tests and long testing. It enters an oscillation that gets bigger and bigger. It's very unstable, so it will turn the nose to the right if you have a right hand turn, but overdo it, then the left side will will try to compensate for that, then the right side will try to compensate for that, and eventually you're just out of control. You cannot control the aircraft anymore and you crash. So before I can even think about continuing to build this, which always, yeah, if I build the airframe, I take my time, and I just try to put a lot of love into the details and make it as close to real life as possible. But I can't even be bothered doing that right now because this plane doesn't fly. If it flies, I can go on and finish it. But right now, no way, Jose. And that's why it's on ice. And this is definitely the last project I will resume building. So I guess if I got time to build, I will start either with the Concorde or the DC-9. But this project, it's just so frustrating. But as I said, since this episode is titled Project on Ice, I felt obligated to just show you what I have stored in my lift so far. But for now, let's just delete this abomination and move on to our final project. The last project, I'm not even sure if I will ever finish it, just because it is so effing big. And yeah, the frame is done, but it's far from finished, and already it takes ages to load in, and there's a few other problems with it. But let me just load it in. Load in this sucker. This is the SpaceX BFR and BFS. Big Falcon rocket and Big Falcon ship. Oh. This didn't take long at all. Well, apparently they did something to the performance, because before it took ages. I would just stand there with my lift waiting. But now, okay, it is loaded in. Just see if we can put it down on the ground. Yes. Yes, you can see it. It is heavy. It is so heavy. Maybe if I give it just a little more to stand on. This, something like this, and a little something like this. Now let's see. This is so heavy. I'm surprised that I got my frame rate as it is right now, because this is completely done out of wedge pieces, out of polygons, out of wing pieces, and out of panels. So let me see the parts list here. Parts. We have 3,000 normal blocks, normal weight blocks, 4,500 heavy blocks, a few wing pieces, some polygons. Let's see, almost 9,000 2x1 wedge pieces, 4,000 wedge pieces. This is insanity. But it kind of works. I'm so surprised, and I'm also happy. This kind of works. So what I plan to do in the future, if I get to this project and if I can finish it, this will also have a launch platform. So we spawn in this whole thing, including the launch platform, and just weld it to the ground. We'll have separator piece. How is it called? Not separator piece. A decoupler. We'll have decouplers, so this can be broken off the platform and fly freely. And here's the next problem. If we go from one big creation that is welded to ground, or just one big creation, and we separate it into two big creations, it causes unimaginable lag. Really, it's just horrible. And if we are in the launch situation, maybe that's okay. If we get a freeze for 1 or 2 seconds, and then we can launch the rocket, that's fine, I guess. But this is also, of course, a two-stage rocket. We have the big Falcon rocket, which is the lower part, just to get it up to altitude, and we have the big Falcon ship here. And I tested it. This is semi-flyable right now, so we can launch it and kind of control, kind of steer it with some thrusters that are hidden in there. But once you separate the two stages, it becomes laggy as hell for about, I don't know, 5 or 10 seconds. Which, given the size of the thing and the beauty of it, maybe is bearable, but it would just be preferable if this wasn't the case. But since I haven't worked on this for quite a while, and Survival came out along with a big update on the performance. As I just told you, I tried spawning it in before and it just took ages, and now it spawns in instantly. It gives me hope that the performance when separating these two big vehicles, the performance will also be better. I had a seat to control the rocket, because these they are not really wings. They're not producing lift. But these surfaces here, and also the surfaces on the top, they worked, and they worked in such a way that oh no. Well, damn. Let me get back up. All right, here we are again. So what I was trying to tell you is, these control surfaces are also movable, and they work kind of like they will or should work in real life. If you've seen kind of an animation or an explanation on how this is supposed to work, this will travel to space, and once it re-enters a planet with an atmosphere, so if it enters Mars, it has a thin atmosphere, but nonetheless, it will not enter the atmosphere like the lower stage does. The lower stage just turns around to be backwards into the airflow, into the direction, and will fire its thrusters to decelerate. This, however, will do a belly flop, so it will be at a right angle, more or less, to the airflow, and then actuate these control surfaces to... What is happening? Please don't fall. It will actuate these control surfaces to control the attitude and the roll and the pitch, and also you can yaw with them. And surprisingly enough, I tested this. I let it fall from an altitude, so yeah, I did what should happen in real life too. I went up to altitude with the... This turning makes me uncomfortable. I went up to altitude with the lower stage and then separated, and then set this thing into the airflow. And then we can control the pitch by retracting or angling these control surfaces. So I can show you how to pitch up. When we pitch up, these will retract and of course reduce the drag here, while these are staying at 90 degrees. Similarly, when we want to lower the nose, these will retract and these will stay at a right angle. And if we want to roll to the left, these will retract. And if we want to roll to the right, these will retract. And yes, I said I'm not sure if I can continue this because it's so complicated. And but on the other hand, it's way too beautiful to not continue. You know what I mean? I love how it looks. I love the looks of this, and I just want to see it finished at some point. Yeah, let me see if I can. I don't remember the controls at all, but let me see if I can show you the separation of the two vehicles. 3 and 4 seems to be the thrust, and I hope it's the thrust of the lower stage. And 5 and okay. I don't know what 5 and 6 does. But let's try to get this thing just a few meters into the air so I can show you the separation. Increase the thrust, increase the thrust, increase the thrust. And we'll have liftoff. Nice. Let's reduce the thrust. And I think... Oh no. Oh damn. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, don't fall. No, don't fall. That's a good thing with the big creations. They don't like to fall. So let's try this again. I have no idea what the buttons 5 and 6 do. But can I just, please, please? Okay, I think I'll reset this. Yeah, see you in a minute. Okay, let's try this again. I don't remember the controls at all. But 7 and 0 are tick buttons, so one of them should definitely be the separation button. So let's get ourselves off the ground again and see if we can separate these things, and I can show you the beautiful lag spike we're getting. Oh my god, I'm so stupid, it's still on the lift. Okay, third time is the charm. So this time I will just take off, test out the tick buttons. Let's do it. Let's do it now. Okay, we're increasing the thrust. Takes a while. I would guess the separation button is the 0 button. Okay. And we're taking off. And now separation. Wow, that was awesome. That worked beautifully. Oh my god. And we are at the skybox. Right, so let's do the belly flop. Oh my god, these are stuck. That is a problem. We cannot use the Oh yeah, they got stuck on the impact with the skybox. But that separation worked beautifully. Let us try that again. That was awesome. Alright, let's do it again. Throttling up, throttling up. Throttling, throttling, throttling up. Slowly. We're moving. We're moving. Throttle down again. And let's separate right away. Beautiful. Throttling down again. Then. Come on, how did I do it? Yes, yes, yes. Let's not hit the skybox. Throttle down, throttle down, throttle down. Come on, fall. Fall for me. Right. So. This works beautifully now. Alright. Look at that. It's very, very slow, but look at that, man. Look at that. It's beautiful. And then theoretically would have to throttle back up, which is too slow now. I guess we will crash. But that's the gist of it. That's the principle. And then we need some, how is it called? RTS thrusters, I think. The thrusters on the surface of the thing. Why are we lagging? Why you lagging, bro? I don't know what's happening, and frankly, I don't care. That was a good demonstration, and semi-successful demonstration of what we have. I guess something is stuck again. One of the control surfaces, maybe. Oh, they seem to be working fine. They seem to be working fine. I don't know what the problem is, but this is what happens with this big build, with such big builds like this one. Yeah, there are many things that we have to sort out before this thing is actually flyable and releasable. But damn son, and I'm so happy that this separation issue was fixed. Man, I'm happy. Yeah, let's just leave this thing be, and I'll see you when I got the frame rate back. Also, I know what happened. Our booster stage just fell over. It's now lying on the on all the wedge pieces, on all the polygons. That shouldn't be. It should land upright, and there's this just another issue we have to fix. Come on, please, just let me grab it, man. Oh yes, oh yes, 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 yes. Good. Let us delete this. And as you see, I appear to have left the engines on. So this not just hangs in the sky, and as we all know, there's just one solution for that. Let's take... Oh, why not? Let's take Kanzlierjet. I just like the color scheme of that. Let's see if this is still flyable. If we put a little nuke in front of it. What? Good. Let's hope we can trim that out. Trim, trim, trim. Okay. Let's see what happens. Come on, boy. Yes! Come on, boy, don't stall on me. You can do it! Are you serious right now? Are you serious right now, man? Okay. Okay, that's fine. The lag has gotten so bad right now. Probably because the other plane is still around somewhere. Now I will approach. Not as much as steep an angle. Come on, boy, you fast as fuck. Do it. Fucking do it! This cannot be real, man. Is it because of the frames? I mean, what kind of shitty ass nuke is that, man? And I was pretty fast, so why didn't it work? Let me see if I can hit the wall. And if not, we just have to take another approach, right? I will blow this ship up. Make no mistake. Come on. Come on, the time is now. Okay, now if this doesn't work, I will just give up and call it a day, man. All right, now coming in hot. Well, more like coming in lukewarm, but you know what I mean. Let's do it. Come on, boy, let's do it. Don't stall out on me now. Here it goes. Here it goes. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Well, finally, man. Oh my god, that took way longer than I than I would like to admit. Right. Bounce. Beautiful. That was totally worth it. Well, and with that beautiful picture, I will end the video. See you next time. Bye.